While you are overthinking your next move, someone else is quietly controlling the board. Look around you right now, in your workplace or your social circle, and you will see someone who always seems to get what they want without fighting for it. Good people constantly get played, not because they are foolish, but because they carry the invisible assumption that everyone else is playing by the same rules. Society tells you that to be respected, you must be loud, constantly available, and eager to prove your intelligence. But the difference between you and the elite minds who dominate their environments isn't raw intelligence, and it certainly isn't aggression. It is a specific, calculated psychological trait that removes all emotional dependency. Most people will watch this and stay exactly the same because they refuse to kill the version of themselves that feels safe and predictable. You have been trained your entire life to seek approval, explain your actions, and react immediately to pressure. But true superiority does not come from adding more noise to your life. It comes from removing everything that makes you easy to control. Today, we are breaking down a Machiavellian blueprint to elevate your thinking. We are not going to give you temporary motivation. We are going to show you how to rebuild your psychological architecture so you can stay calm, stay hidden, and quietly take the upper hand in every dynamic. The foundation of this transformation begins with what we call the 5-second emotional fortress. Every single day, someone is going to try to pull an emotional reaction out of you. They will throw a subtle insult, question your decisions, or deliberately provoke you just to see if they can shift your state. For the average person, the moment they are questioned, an automatic impulse takes over. They feel the desperate need to correct the misunderstanding, to explain their side, and to defend their identity. But the second you rush to defend yourself, you hand over control of the interaction. You are no longer leading the conversation. You are reacting to their frame, and the one who responds always follows. To become superior, you must completely kill the urge to defend yourself. Defensiveness is not strength. It is a visible signal that their words successfully affected you. Instead, when you face a provocation, you must implement a deliberate 5-second delay. Do not mask your anger. Simply let the silence sit. That calculated pause creates a massive gap between the stimulus and your response. In that silence, the other person's expectations are entirely disrupted. They expected resistance, but instead, they get a blank, unreadable wall. This quiet tension forces them to doubt their own approach, often causing them to nervously over-explain and reveal their true motives. By simply saying nothing, you turn their own psychological pressure back onto them. Once you have secured your emotional reactions, your next move is to master weaponized underestimation. Most individuals are terrified of being underestimated, rushing to correct the perception the moment someone overlooks them. They speak more, reveal their plans, and try to desperately demonstrate their capability. But when you display all your intelligence and strength up front, you invite immediate opposition and give others a clear map of how to counter you. Visible strength puts people on guard, causing them to hide their true intentions. When you strategically allow others to underestimate you, you claim the ultimate advantage. Because they assume you are not a threat, they completely drop their guard. They become careless, they speak too freely, and they reveal their patterns and weaknesses without realizing you are studying them. While the performer in the room is trying to dominate the conversation to feel seen, you are acting as the strategist, quietly observing and gathering leverage. You do not need to correct their false assumptions. You let them build their confidence on an illusion. And when the exact right moment arrives, your precision hits with a delayed impact that forces the entire room to instantly and permanently respect you. Host 1. This level of control naturally leads to our third pillar, the ruthless management of your attention and availability. You are conditioned to believe that constantly showing up, replying instantly, and being emotionally available proves your loyalty and value. But human psychology operates differently. Unlimited access actually destroys your perceived value. When people know your attention is constantly waiting for them, your presence stops feeling special and becomes taken for granted. What is always available becomes mentally invisible. To shift the power dynamic, you must create emotional scarcity. You do this by withdrawing your unlimited access, but crucially, you do it without making an announcement. If you explain that you are taking space, you expose your intention and show that you are secretly begging for a reaction. Instead, you simply delay your responses and stop being emotionally available on demand. Because you offer no explanation, their mind is forced to fill the gap. They begin to wonder why you are acting differently, and that very uncertainty pulls their focus entirely toward you. By controlling your availability, you transform your presence from a predictable background noise into an unforgettable, high-value privilege. This brings us to the final element, which completely separates the elite from the average: strategic vulnerability. Many people misunderstand the concept of the cold mind. They assume that to be powerful, you must become a completely emotionless robot, cutting everyone off and isolating yourself. But total isolation does not make you powerful. It simply leaves you blind and disconnected. The highest level of superiority relies on a warm Machiavellian approach. You use calculated warmth and strategic empathy to build intense trust. You can listen closely, smile genuinely, and engage fully in the present moment, making people feel deeply seen and connected to you. You project this warmth externally, but internally, you maintain absolute, unbreakable boundaries. You do not depend on their validation, and you do not attach your identity to their approval. Because you are not emotionally needy, manipulation tactics have absolutely no leverage over you. You become perfectly balanced, deeply respected, warmly regarded, but quietly and absolutely untouchable. True power is not about ruling over others with aggression. It is about commanding your own internal state so completely that external forces can no longer move you. You do not have to lose your humanity to win. You just have to stop playing by the predictable rules designed to keep you at the bottom. The person who can sit comfortably in silence, who can delay their reaction, and who values their own attention as a scarce currency will naturally dictate the terms of reality. The world will always test your boundaries and try to pull you back into average patterns. Let them try. Keep your mind cold, your actions calculated, and your presence rare. Stop living as a predictable character in someone else's script and start acting as the silent author of your own life. You are now equipped to see the game